Every person is born to become something. And that something is what would cause them to be happy, live this really great life, become abundant, have everything they want, fall in love with themselves, and everyone can do it because it's all within them. And I can say this because I didn't know that before. And if you don't have all of those things in your life now, if you're not experiencing all of those things in your life right now, you're not trying. I can just say that because people get really upset when I say those things, but I know because that's the life that I've lived. And see, when we come into the world, we will live different lives, and whatever we discover and whatever we can achieve, we're meant to give that to others because that's how our world evolves. That's how our planet evolves. It's why through what each person decides to do with that something they were given. That something is your life experience, no matter what it was, how you judged it, what you thought about it, that was something you were given. And then when you can interpret that and figure out the beauty of what you have, then you start to live a very different life. And then what you also do is you help change the world. We all do that. We don't think that we're doing it sometimes because we don't feel that we're that important or significant, or what we're doing, our little something, doesn't matter. That's never true either. And I can say that again because, see, I denied all of this my entire life, but I can sit here today and tell you what my truth is. My truth is I know every single person is born with something within them that would cause them to be happy, successful, and fall in love with themselves. And I know that because I received all of that information. See, that was the path that I followed that was really challenging for me to understand, just like it might be for you. And I'm talking about this now because a lot of people are really a little confused and they're feeling, I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure what's happened to me. Why have I changed so much? Why is the world looking so insane? Why is that happening? Well, I've been talking about it for several years and I knew that, but see, I was holding back too, just like you might have done. Holding back and not becoming what you're meant to become causes your life to be really a mess and doesn't help our world either. That's what really goes on, because we start to discover over time that our world is created by each of us, and it's done, and it does that energetically, meaning the energy that we put into the world. And we put in positive, uplifting energy of love when we decided to move through our restrictions and limitations that always exist within us. But when we move through those, we start to discover that something that is within us, and then we live this incredible life. And I can say that again because that's what I've proven. Because I went through more things that most people can imagine, more difficulties, more challenges, illnesses, diseases, depression, losing everything several times, almost dying many times, all of those things. And then when you go through those, you start to move over your fear. That's why I wrote the book on fear, by the way, because I knew that I had to give that back to others. Then in 2020, when the world was changing and everybody kind of saw that, I said, oh, I've got to do more now. But that was really challenging for me as well, because we all have little patterns in ourselves that we have to move through. Mine was being really introverted, not wanting to be out there, not wanting to tell people what I understood, even though I kept feeling I was being forced to. And that was the message that came out today that I was given in 2020 on this date. Depending on when you might see this, but it says you're being forced to become more. That kind of thing. It always feels like we're being pushed to do something. Well, we are, because it's within us. And it's that direction that we all have, your higher self, that other guidance, your intuition, we all have it. The only difference was my life was meant to become a mystic and a sage and bring in work, this work that I have that could cause anyone to live a really incredible life and heal so much of what has been going on with them and embrace their full self, meaning that spiritual side, because we all have that. I wrote a message, and the message that came through this morning was about a different interpretation, what it means to be spiritual. Being spiritual means that you just understand that you are an important part of the planet, every soul is, every person born is. But see, over time, we have not come to understand that. This is why the world is moving a little bit crazy right now. And as my guide said, we're moving through a restructuring because too many people had forgotten their importance. Too many people didn't know how much they had to offer the world because of maybe all the things that they had moved through, all of the generational difficulties that are all showing up now. That's what's happening in our world. And it's probably what's happening in your life. And I know that was for me. And the weird thing was, when I started receiving this information to tell people that, wait a minute, I received this information that was for what we were all moving through during this time, people said, no, that's not possible, until they saw that it was. And then when I would meet with people, because the other information that I received, because we're all connected energetically, by the way, we're connected, our souls are connected energetically. We figure that out eventually. And so the information was that, no, if you bring more people together, then you're going to make your planet's going to be a lot different, you see, because the energy that you will put in will be different than all the fighting that you've been doing, all the killing that you've been doing in the world. That will go away if you start to love yourself. And it means that each single person, but that was a process. And so what I was given was your life operating instructions. And that didn't make sense, because they said, nope, that's what's going on. You got to live differently if you want to create a different world, meaning you got to let go of the old ideas. You got to let go of the old judgments and restrictions and all the things that have existed within us. Because again, we're all creating the world, and we do that individually, and then we put that into this collective pool of energy that manifests the world that we all experience. And that is how it works. And no one has ever given me anything that's going to say that that's not true. The only thing that was challenging for me, and probably for you, is to accept our role, to accept what we were given. See, I judged my life for so long because I thought, why am I going through all this crazy stuff? Why am I having all this weirdness? Why am I moving through it? And why am I seeing it in the world? And then I got it very clearly, because you're evolving. We all are. That's what we do when we come onto the planet. We're all doing it now, but it just happens to be at a time where the entire civilization is going through an evolution. And as my message said this morning, a spiritual evolution, meaning that we all come to understand the importance of every single person on the planet. But we have to begin with understanding and accepting our own. And that means loving who you are. That is the work that I do.
I haven't done anything like this.
It's increased the confidence that I've had in myself.
Everything is better. I mean, every single aspect of my life. My income, the progress is just amazing. Like, you can see changes from week to week.
Introducing your last development program, Life Transformation for Success, the newest part of Roger Burnley's coaching series. In this 3-month online program, you will learn the mindset tools you need to dissolve the shame of your past, discover the gifts within you that make you important to the world, and get the confidence to rise above anything that stands between you and the life that you want.
Everything changed in my life. Everything. Every single thing.
It's time for you to reprogram your mind for success and become self-actualized. If you're ready to transform your life too, learn more at yourlastdevelopmentprogram.com today.